Tobico Creek, Bramwood, welcome. When we think about attraction, oftentimes conversation tends to be about of the opposite sex, relating to humans being attracted to one another. There are definitely some factors that influence those attractions. Before we get into that, on a side note, well, not exactly. Now, we say opposites attract. In some ways, we know opposites attract, or we know when they attract. And when they don't attract, when the others do, it gets controversial. In the case of same-sex marriages, for example, unions being recognized in that way took a long time. When a woman and a woman are attracted to each other, is there defiance in some way there? Some people would argue that it's nature. As a matter of fact, they won't even argue it. To them, there's no other way. It is exactly what it is. It's a natural thing. Others would argue something else, perhaps. Now, the way where I stand on the subject, to me, seems to be essentially I seek to understand the way people think about all matters, really. Specifically, this one. I can't make the final judgment. I have no problem with anybody's belief. I'm fine with whatever you believe. Just don't kill people for that. And I don't want to go too deep into that, to be honest. It is, like I said, controversial. And I find that when speaking about that in particular, the attraction of a man to a man or a woman to a woman, we all have these thoughts and considerations as we grow up to be adults. This is what psychology says. So we make a choice at some point in time. Whichever way you look at it, I'm completely fine. I mean, it's great. Be happy. Do your thing. Don't kill people. But now, the attraction. Hey, you know what? We'll get into that another day. There's really too much to say on that because I want to hear people. I want to hear what various people have to say about that subject. So I'm open to discussion on that. Now, carrying on, Raise your hand if you've resisted any attraction based on culture. You resisted pursuing an individual specifically in that area because of a cultural difference, and you weren't sure if you'd feel comfortable on either side, their side or them coming over to, I suppose, your side. Okay. You know, watching movies, there was a movie called Red Belt. I'm sure some of you have seen it. There's one really interesting point I took away from that movie. And, you know, we're dealing with resistance here. And what it does, of course, we know is just causing friction in some area. For yourself, for other people, you know, it's not fluid motion. Right? Now you can embrace this. Embrace that attraction. And go all the way with it. Because you believe it to be true. We all have friends and family who have devoted relationships, devoted partners. Beautiful relationships, families, they have their troubles, they look great together, they look amazing together. That seems to be an example of embracing it. Enjoying what you have, not asking for more, knowing that you can work to improve, to obtain enough of what you want and desire and need. Perhaps, as they say, 80%. If you embrace that, right? Another interesting thing. Deflect it. You know what? This is not for me right now. You hold that, man. You hold that. I see somebody else is interested in you. I'm not going to stand in the way. Do your thing. Just deflect that. Pass it off. Move on. Seek your next opportunity. Be aware. Be open to it. So the resistance of the three is, this is not the wise one. I suppose the end result really of all of it is to seek or achieve satisfaction. When you have an attraction, you would like to satisfy the urges that come with it. Fulfill that. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of like if you don't actually satisfy the urges for that attraction, it's just going to mutate into something else. It's not going to be fulfilled, this energy that's kind of stale. It still has to be expelled in some way, perhaps. Perhaps that's a negative way of thinking about it, and perhaps there's more to it than that. Naturally, there's always something that balances it out. Either way, I suppose what you intake also influences what you're attracted to. For what it's worth.
Hey, what's up, guys? Bramwood Beetle. I need all of you to run out there, check out the new album I've got coming up. It's called With Version. You can actually pre-order it right now at mrblends.bandcamp.com. That's MRBLENDS.BANDCAMP.com. I'll put a link in the description as well. I want to see those pre-orders. I definitely appreciate your time. Thank you very much for your support.
We seem to be quite focused on the individual in a way that self-improvement, things of that nature, in a way that goes beyond our interest or attention to our interest in improving, suppose, the community. I don't recognize any time in my classes in school for the most part, where we were doing something for the community, just for every human, and just generally this thing that was not for any one person. Just, I don't really remember that. I don't remember a class that was designed to put us in a mindset to include our fellow human on a mission, on a daily walk. It's everything, just the way we think, the way we operate. A lot of me, which is understandable. You have to be you for us to be who we are. At the same time, you're not much without us. What are you really reflecting on or off of? All this attraction that we have for one another, and we're sure focused on the individual. I think that it helps society a little bit better to understand how, as they say, the ripple effect of your actions. I mean, there should be more courses at an elementary level, even primary, absolutely, aside from in the home. You know, not even so much teach, suggest these ideas that are, is it possible that this, this is, what do you think about this, These classes that are perhaps abstract don't really look good on paper. This is why you need to get artists to participate in curriculum design. It is design, after all, and they are artists. They just get across the idea in their way. That's could have been said in a different way, perhaps. That's just what it is. Yeah. Strengthen that attraction. Fulfill it patiently.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for checking this one out. Feel free to follow up with us, subscribe, like, download, share, all the goods. We definitely appreciate your support. If you have any interest in replying or responding to any of the comments or any of the questions, feel free to send us an email at bramwoodpodcast@gmail.com. Quite simple. We'll definitely look out for your responses, and in future episodes, we'll discuss some of the responses that we have. The goal is to create a community, so whether we're here to help each other or whether we're here to give each other advice, at the end of the day, we're here for each other. So again, feel free to send an email response to bramwoodpodcast@gmail.com. There's a lot more to come. Thank you very much. Until next time.